Hello, vicarious mercenaries, proxy ninjas, and pop culture PhDs. Welcome to the Rec Room. Happy bottom of the Tuesday to you. Hope all's going well. It has certainly been a minute, and it has not been for necessarily planned or any crazy reasons. It's just been a lot going on. So definitely some things to catch you up on tonight. I do have a lot of notes, but I'm just trying to think from anything on the open here. I don't really have a whole lot, so I guess we might as well dive in. Um, if you are new to the Rec Room, this is the coolest corner of the internet where you get the rundown on what's going on here with Enforcer Media Productions through project updates and creative insights, and you also get the breakdown on what makes our favorite franchises tick, whether that be through commentary or the long-running video game deep dives. So here you get a front row seat to what it's like to build up a franchise from scratch without industry support. So glad to have each and every one of you who are joining us. Yeah, so there's that. So I guess there's been a couple reasons why we haven't been on quite so much lately. Had two double day shows over the last couple of weekends. So I covered the one from the Lake St. Clair Fine Art Fair last week, so that was the prior weekend, both a Saturday and Sunday, and then this weekend we had the Clinton Township Festival of the Senses. Yeah, a very unique name for that one. So that went pretty well. I'll talk details, I think, after I get to a couple other things. But one thing I am relieved to report is that I no longer have the monkey on my back in terms of my volunteer political involvement in a local community thing. So, if anything, it's kind of been like an annoying mosquito. So I guess I can say I no longer have to have that in the way, because what happened last night is we kind of had an annual meeting which involved elections and that kind of stuff. And I guess enough people have finally stepped up that my involvement, as limited as it was, is no longer necessary. I guess I can say I've never really been elected. I've only been reelected. As odd as that sounds, the situation with this entity that I've helped out with, usually I've been asked to help after there's been some kind of resignation, and this has happened a couple times already. So usually I'll get put in place for a position, and then a couple cycles will go by in which nobody wants to step up, or there's not enough people to hold a vote. But I guess finally there's enough people that were willing to step up, and they got more votes. So I'm thankfully got one less thing on my mind. So that means, if anything, that is more mental capacity spared for things which are much needed, with writing and audio work and shows and visuals, and here with streaming. So I'm actually glad to not have to deal with that, because it's not that I wasn't committed to it. It's just that because it's volunteer, it's just something that has to get done and needs a certain number of people. But yeah, as those of you know who've been watching for a while, there's a lot of plates spinning here, so I'm just glad to have that kind of out of the way for now. If life changes and I need it for it again, I'll still answer the call. But if there's other people more committed, then more power to them. Glad to have them doing that, because they're certainly going to take more and run with it. I guess we'll just put it that way. So, of course, because we haven't been on as much, not a whole lot of change in numbers. So that's neither here nor there, to use that particular expression. One thing that's kind of comical, as I logged into Odysee tonight, I saw that the disco bots have even started to invade Odysee. There was a comment, and it was already caught and removed, or the channel was removed before I even saw it and got the chance to even treat it as a legit one. So that was kind of interesting to see, because we normally have that problem on Twitch, but Odysee has got a little bit of that going on. Which reminds me, I didn't think to mention, so you are free to watch on Odysee, Twitch, or YouTube. We've kind of got a multi-platform thing going on, so feel free to lurk or chat at your convenience. All comments, welcome, appreciated. I do my best to keep up with everything, barring imperatives or snide remarks, so I'll try to keep up with everything to the best of my ability. So here's what's going on project-wise. So I guess I don't really need to give you a crazy page count or anything, but I've been doing pretty well. I mean, usually I stress that needs to be a day off once a week, and I've only done that loosely. Like last Monday, I didn't have a stream because of that, but I've still been not wanting to lose momentum on writing progress, even with having the shows over the weekend. So that's to my detriment, but still trying to get that 20 to 25 page threshold met. So we're now currently at, I think, about 216 pages to go on editing of the rough draft for book 2 of the Firewall Protocol. So I'm trying to think. There's not too much for notes. Actually, you get to see. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there are some giants involved in one of the last battles of the book. So I don't want to say too much about that because there's a couple elements of that I would like to keep as a surprise or spoiler free, I should say. But there is some cool things going on there. And then finally, it's I've been prolonging the inevitable because I'm finding that audio editing is now almost as equally painful as working on writing because and I finally discovered why. I think it's because some things I can do and I can multitask. Like when I'm working on creative stuff, it's nice to have some kind of audio in the background, whether that be news or music or something, because I can do both and feel like there's not a void there. But when it comes to audio editing, because it's so audio intensive, I got to listen to clarity and things like that. I then don't get that extra distraction noise, and I find it to get kind of exhausting without that. So if I can start to find a way to improve my workflow, hopefully that'll get better. But the reason I bring that up is because I finally got through some editing today on the first of 2 chunks of what's going into what'll be the final Chapter 7 release, hopefully next week for Book 1's audio over on our Patreon side. So that's kind of a work in progress thing. It just took a while to get the recording done. Then you got to do the editing. Then you got to do the trimming and the re-recording, and then finally the export. Honestly, if anything, both the recording and the exports are the 2 easiest ones. But the thing is, exporting also takes time just because you got to wait for the computer to kick everything out. So, speaking of Patreon, I forgot to mention, so this is primarily an ad-free experience, barring anything we got going on here. So, I have made up my mind that I am not going to chase monetization on Twitch. So that means there will not be ads here. We do not have ads on Odysee or YouTube. So, of course, that means none of the big platforms are kicking anything back to us. But if you would like to contribute and help out, one of the coolest things you can do, and it would get you something in hand, go buy a copy of Ascendant Chaos over on Amazon. Or if you want to just chip in and get a little bit of the audio experience as it's produced, then head on over to our Patreon page. Links for all that is in the description of virtually every show and everything out there. So I try to make that pretty easy to get to. Also, as far as other things, we still got another show coming up this weekend. This is kind of like the last in the season for the Fraser Vendor Market. That's Fraser, Michigan. So if you're in the Metro Detroit area, passing through or live in the area, swing by. That runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hopefully weather still holds. Getting a little cooler here, but otherwise, that show has been very cool. Been able to meet a lot of people and appreciate a lot of people who stopped by. But speaking of shows, we'll get on to talking about the one from Clinton Township last weekend. So I don't have too much for highlights, but again, I can't stress enough how much I greatly appreciate everybody who has stopped by, whether that be just for conversation or to pick something up. We mostly moved a few copies of the books and actually moved some Aladdin 3477 stuff. I think a couple of the collectibles and some physical media. Definitely talked to a lot of people, got a lot of business cards and flyers out there, which for the most part, handing out business cards and flyers has not turned into a high rate of conversion because we've really had like no online sales. That means a lot of people are just saying, oh yeah, I'll check it out, and they don't. So I'm going to start playing hardball here a little bit, and because for any of you who've worked in sales, I mean, people are trying to be gracious, and one of the common responses is like, "Oh yeah, I'll swing back by." Well, I was next to this really cool guy who's been apparently doing salsa marinara sauce for a long time, and I asked him, and we were just in conversation. He said he's been doing so for about 25 years. And so I really got to hear his sales antics and other things. And he graciously gave people a hard time if they kept kind of moving on and all these other things. And I kind of feel like I want to take the same approach a bit if I could find a way that not being a complete jerk about it. So if anything, it's like I want to call people out. It's like, hey, don't say it if you don't mean it, because there's been a lot of people who've expressed like, oh yeah, that's real cool, I'll check that out, and of course they don't. So it's kind of like, well, that is part of sales, but at the same time, sometimes people are just being nice, but sometimes people aren't really being very honest either. And of course, do want to try to build honesty and integrity with business. So a couple of the other cool things were that ran into 3D print artists, which I've seen a fair number at the art and craft shows, but got to talking to one of them who had some really cool things. I'm always keeping an eye open for other things that might look kind of cool if I build a bridge with somebody to be like, hey, they got some cool paraphernalia that might be able to turn into, Enforcer Media or Firewall Protocol logos and that kind of stuff. There's also another artist there who's working into getting into Comic Con, so we got to swap contact info and collaborate, see if there's other events that would both be beneficial. But one of the other cool things about everybody stopped by is like there's some more enthusiasm. I mean, there was some people that were really excited to pick up Ascendant Chaos, whether it had been for themselves or family, and also got to see some familiar faces. So now with being out there a little bit more, starting to run into other people from other shows, and actually got a repeat customer. So there's a gal who picked up Aladdin, after we had talked at a prior one. So it was really cool. I love building those connections to see people after, repeat experiences and all that. So that was encouraging. So even if it wasn't necessarily a monetary high water mark, I enjoyed the fact that there was more, enthusiasm and familiar faces. Um, so I think that's pretty much all I got for the show. So let me talk pop culture for a second. I'm going to get into another thing that I kind of touched on last week. So from a pop culture standpoint, I finally finished Pacific Rim: The Black. So it doesn't really tie into Shadow Tactics quite so much. So what I'm probably gonna do, maybe I'll mention that a little bit more next week for Mech Warrior, because I was hoping to do Mech Warrior this week, but I forgot about the silly meeting I had last night. So that was kind of in the way of getting Mech Warrior rolling back out after a couple weeks gap, along with the technical issues that were at hand. So the only other thing I have is that we've got the next anime season or quarter starting up here in the next week or two, and it's going to be interesting because there's definitely far less on the list. Because I mean, I found almost like a half dozen things this current quarter, and I was at the point where there were so many that I'm kind of like, this is kind of boring. It's actually, first world problem to have that many to pick from, and then be like, it's not interesting. I'll just move along. So there's definitely a lot less for this quarter, but there are a couple big ones, or at least a couple high profile ones. So the number one that I'm looking forward to is My Hero Academia Season 8, and this is listed to be the final season. Now, they've already since started the spinoff in the form of My Hero Academia Vigilantes or Illegals. I still don't know which is the proper technical term because I've seen it both ways. And there's the other high profile one I'm really on the fence on is Spy Family Season 3. I really enjoyed the first season. The second season felt like it had so many kind of spin-off stories that I wasn't quite sold on it. So I guess I'll see where that goes because I still also haven't seen the side movie that they did for that one. Now the other one which I have, which has really grown on me, is the My Absurd, or it's My Cooking. No, I'm going to say it wrong. It's Cook Fire Camping in Another World with My Absurd Skill. So it's yet another one of many in the isekai genre, but it is pretty comedic. The main character ends up with nothing more than an online delivery service skill, and of course he ends up with the mythological wolf Fenrir as a familiar, and it's pretty comedic. So that is not usually my favorite genre unless there's some kind of military or sci-fi element to it, of course. But since it's getting a season 2, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Um, so that's pretty much it on the pop culture side. I'll probably have a little bit more to talk about that as we see the quarter roll out. So here's something more of a current events thing that I've still been doing a lot of thought processing on what's going on here. So I indirectly, I didn't mention names last week or what was going on, but I did go into a bit of detail, my thoughts on what happened. It's been, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I've expressed repeatedly, over the couple of years of doing this, that I don't like to get into politics, and that this is not my intent. But part of me has been wondering, like, what has been my reason for that, and I think the most surface level answer is just because I'm not a confrontational person. I do not like to get into conversations with people who do not want to have conversations. So therefore, in the process of doing the rec room here, I want to find things that bring us together, and that's why pop culture and entertainment stuff has been the primary focus. But at the same time, I've seen some changes which I think could be kind of optimistic in this regard. And what happened Sunday, excuse me, was the memorial for Charlie Kirk, which was actually absolutely incredible. I mean, I wasn't able to catch the beginning, but I caught the bulk of the event. And I guess the question is, so why then is that relevant to what's going on here? I guess as I look back, when I was in my early 20s, my focus was definitely not video games or writing. My focus was to do something of similar nature through martial arts, to create content that was positive in a positive direction. And that obviously was not God's path for me, because through injury and needing to finish college, and lack of expenses to go big or go home, so to speak, that was not the path. But that still planted the seeds of content, which have now grown into what has been a very, very long project via the Firewall Protocol saga. And there was not much of a public element to that, hence why I've only been talking about it, publicly now for the last couple of years, because there's finally enough close to being done, and now there is. And so I kind of really relate to the efforts that Charlie Kirk was putting into things on the college campus, and it was really, really powerful to see a lot of the content and a lot of the speakers. And I guess the one thing that I find to be the most encouraging is that I finally see people, and I'm not necessarily talking about the politicians, although some of them may have, gone into this realm, but what I'm finally seeing is that there are some leaders of high influence. I guess I'll put it that way, because again, some of them are not necessarily politicians, but some of them are finally getting to the root of the issue, which I think is that a lot of the things going on, the core solution is to have a Christ-centered one. And over the last week, give or take, there's finally been some people that have been addressing problems from that stance. So, along with politics, yes, it's not necessarily my plan to go into a religious diatribe, but here's the thing, and some of you may get confused by this. I'm not into religion, but at the same time, I have absolutely no issue with talking about, Jesus Christ or Christianity. So, I guess, again, the reason hasn't been any squishiness or lack of confidence in my worldview, as much as I just only want to bring it up if there's likely to be positive dialogue that comes out of that, not to create an argument, because people are free to believe and do what they want. Now, it doesn't mean I agree with it, but it's at the same time, my stance and my identity as a person is not based on trying to convince somebody else. Now, as a caring person, the idea is to help rescue somebody from possibly something that is destructive. But at the same time, if there's not a willingness to have a discussion about it, then it just feels like an exercise in futility when you can kind of go somewhere else where there might be that opportunity. So I've had to do a lot of, thinking on and reflection on the matter since some of these events have happened. And, and maybe in more subtle ways, it has had an impact on doing things here from a schedule standpoint, because the video game element itself is not the highest priority. Again, I will stress that my reason for being here is to build connections with those of you out there who have similar interests, primarily in the pop culture space, but that doesn't mean I necessarily want to shy away from any, positive or meaningful discussions, in terms of worldview or bigger picture things. It's hard to find that, because, I can remember, from the 90s onward, that just kind of coming up in this arena that you don't talk about the most important issues. And when I think we are seeing the result of that mindset, that we are having a lot of these issues, is because we haven't talked about the most important issues. So I'm just optimistic, and I'll leave it with this, that I think we are finally seeing some changes where I think there might be chances to have bigger picture discussions, and I hope that happens. So, and why and how does that relate to what we're doing with Shadow Tactics tonight? Well, we've kind of been going through this mission in which there was I don't know if you call it a murder, because I guess maybe I don't know the distinction between murder and assassination, but I would say, murder is obviously killing, but assassination is that the difference in which it's done without the other person having a chance to fight back? I don't know. So I don't know if I would call what has happened here in Shadow Tactics an assassination, but clearly there was a murder at the hands of the antagonist's son, who killed the Shogun's son. And then you've got this quest for revenge, you know, and there's this difference between revenge and justice. And I mean, we're seeing some of those discussions happen, you know, on the world stage right now. And especially with Sunday's event, to hear Charlie's widow, Erica, talk about forgiveness of the person who was involved with the assassination. Again, not to feed into conspiracy, whether or not the guy that is in custody is the one who did it or not, because I know there's a lot of questions out there, but to whoever it was that was responsible, to be able to issue forgiveness is a very powerful thing. And now that does not necessarily bypass the process of justice. So that's why I called tonight's episode Consequences. Because even if you do something that is not moral, there's still going to be consequences. Even if you do something right, there's consequences, because I think we always assume that consequence is bad. I mean, if anything, it's a cause and effect. If you do something, there is an end result. So we're going to be, you know, dealing with the consequences of the, you know, this other murder. And kind of throughout this, you see Hayato ready to, you know, throw the revenge hammer down. Then you've got Aiko being the voice of reason, to stay that. And now in their case, you probably have a selfish motive, the fact they want to clear their own names. But at the same time, there's not really a benefit or an upside to not having a process of justice in which something is done. If somebody has done something so heinous or horrific, the idea is you put them in a capacity in which they're not able to do that again. So that is some of the discussions going on. And I figured, you know, try to find a way to tie that in here, because it's just kind of... All right, waiting for... So YouTube's back up. Okay, well, I'm going to give it one other disconnect. I'll have to see if I get done before that, but it means we are still not out of the woods with the technical issues here. Great. Apparently I was talking too long. And that's got to get paused. I mean, hypothetically, that means I got to cycle my router or something like every time now, because it's only been a week or less than a week since we streamed. I didn't have any issues last week. Okay, so I guess we're resumed for the time being, but if we get another disconnect during the playtime here, it'll be a short one. I mean, it's not flaking out like it was last time either. We had some serious fluctuation, so if anything, it's kind of like that once per hour thing. So if we can get it to last an hour, we might be able to finish this mission. It's just about to blow everybody up with Takuma's grenade, I think. Gotta spike the sake. And if I recall, we got 4 guys in here, all looking toward the center, roughly. And then you get Torch Guy in the middle. All 3 of them have torches. Now, what I might need to do is have Aiko distract these 2. But I gotta get her past some of them first.
Saki.
So I just gotta watch for the samurai, though, if he comes back. Okay, still that way. Oh! Why is he looking? He's not a samurai. Uh-oh, there he is. Okay, so the question is, do I try this anyway? Can Kuma pull all of them in? Yes, so he did have all 4, I think. looks like they're all affected.
Your turn.
Freeze.
Now, if she talks, will she distract both of them?
Apologies.
Yes?
No,
have
it's
a
not
question.
distracting all of them. Okay, we'll try this.
Immediate plug your ears.
Oh,
Kuma.
I did
Kuma.
not know that.
Distract. The envy. Fireworks are ready. Fly! Finally, you are unbound.
A drop of blood.
okay, problem solved.
Everything's dead.
Alright, quiet down there, rodent.
Kuma, listen. That's enough, Kuma.
I guess next time I'll try to be a little more creative in figuring that out.
Concoction. This can put the men at the campfire to sleep.
Let me carry the flask. I can put on a disguise and pour this into the sake barrel.
There you are.
Okay, so let's put her back in disguise. Now, does he need to hand it to her? Or is that already taken care of? Looks like it's already taken care of. Okay, so we'll,
Not escape justice.
proceed here. Now, the trick is to make sure we get in here without being spotted by a samurai. See, there's a samurai. Okay. I think we're good now.
Damn the traitors. Sake. Snow. They will not escape justice.
Okay, so I know there's one sitting down over
They
there.
must protect the Shogun.
He's not looking in a whole lot, neither is the other one, so there's actually two of them. The other one's looking away too. Okay.
They deserve it.
Not yet.
Murder the heir to the Shogun. I never thought
Not yet.
my eyes
Oh, what? Why not? Oh.
Saki.
Oh, she's got to pick it. I didn't pick it up from the table, so it's not like... Eh. Okay, so I should have done this. There we go. Can't poison without poison.
They will not escape justice.
Saki.
We must protect the Shogun.
Oh, he...
You think you can fool me?
Ow! Boo. Okay, so it wasn't the cart guy that saw me before. It was a samurai. Oh, so he turned around to deal with the cart, which is the reason why.
We must protect the Shogun.
Okay, so hopefully he should be turning around now.
They will not escape justice.
Now we shall spike the sake.
Okay.
There. Let us wait until the serving maids do their part.
Okay, so once we do that,
They will not escape justice.
Sake. How are we bringing them in? Might as well do this while we're waiting.
Saki.
Damn the traitors.
I never thought I'd lay eyes on the Emperor so cold.
Where'd she
Know
go?
where they're hiding.
Apparently she must have reset and gone inside. Alright, the samurai's come back down. Let's not move him just yet. There she goes. So she'll take care of them, but we still got all these guys up here to contend with. So we got samurai facing out that way. Now patrol guys, we're gonna need to still come in from around here if possible. Okay. Samurai sleeping too? Kinda looks like it. He's down, he's down. Yep, they're down. They're down. He's about to be. Hopefully she stops serving once they're all passed out. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can't, you stay put there.
A drop of blood. An elegant death.
Okay, so she done serving. Oh, I see. There she is now. Everybody's sleeping very peacefully. Okay, let's get Kuma back over here. Or Takuma. And Kuma. Where's the patrolling party there? Those traps are foreign. Okay, so he's here. Let's, Hayato and Yuki moving here. Alright, she done wandering around now they're all sleeping? Don't mind us. So we already took out everybody else back there. Man, that would have been a nightmare trying to shoot your way through these guys. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Let me go with Aiko first. Just want to see if she can get in here without tripping any of these idiots. Actually, I'm partially curious. Is it possible to... Oh, we got hat guys. Hat guys which are covered. Okay. We have ways.
Wind is freezing.
Okay. Thoughts are maybe draw. Who made those footprints?
Wow, his tent is huge.
Better make sure we have Masaru before we go in.
Who made those footprints?
What? How are you still seeing tracks?
Stick and stab.
Oh, they almost did me a favor. No, don't want to try stabbing the samurai. That snow lasted quite a while then.
Wow, his tent is huge.
Better make sure we have Masaru before we go in.
Nasty surprise.
Okay, so let's see if we can't whistle this guy into the trap.
Someone there.
Such a good track. It wants to be taken.
Alright, he's out of the way.
Who needs halberds for you?
So he's a little bit more of a problem. Maybe I can catch him from over here.
What? Someone sneaking around.
Oh no, not good.
Come forward!
Ow!
Yeah, that doesn't work. I didn't keep the footprints out of the way. Okay, let's keep them hopefully a little further out there.
So cold.
Don't step in the spider's nest.
Okay,
Cloth,
can I do this
wake
without
up,
tripping the
little Sue.
samurai? There we go.
Who is this?
Got you.
Make sure you're out of the way. There we go. 2 out of 4. Now got a bit of a problem with these guys here. Oh, and we got a cart. Okay. So he's not watching the other one, so we could technically stab this guy. Don't really want to be using bullets though. Hayato's the one that would need to be useful here. Okay, so let's get Hayato up here and drop the body. I'm gonna change roles here. Nope. Oh, music changed because I brought the body in? Let's go hop on the cart while it's moving.
Focus.
Or what I'll do then, maybe I'll just leave him down there.
Yeah.
Have him move. Okay.
This won't do.
Yeah, we can keep him passed out though. So the target here is the Hat Man. Preferably without making footprints.
Hey. Nothing personal.
Quickly now.
Kill this hell out!
Ah!
Nothing personal.
Won't let me interact with the lamp while. Okay, well, that'll have to do. So now we can use Kuma to distract the 3 of them without using bullets, but I have to wait till these guys cycle around. Don't see the tracks. Oof, that's close. Oh, too soon. Too soon.
Hey. Nothing personal.
Quickly now.
Someone sneaking
Uh-oh.
around?
Are you sure it's
Bad
idea?
Yeah, that's not gonna work without having some support there. Okay. Can I stealth kill this guy without tipping these guys off? Ooh, go through there. Okay.
Nothing personal.
Alright, footprints, go away. Huh?
Someone sneaking around?
Shuriken. No.
Who left
No,
those
don't see
tracks?
how.
Okay, that's a little bit more of a problem. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna bring Kuma up here. As long as they're looking away.
Kuma, go. Yes.
Okay. One more rotation.
Work your charms, Kuma.
Nothing personal.
Okay, problem solved.
Kuma, stop.
Alright, so now we're going to have to bring him back.
Back to work.
Carry the body. No footprints, no footprints, no footprints, no footprints. Go. Okay, so they shouldn't see that. That's good.
Are you getting heavier?
Aiko might have shoved some rocks down his gullet while trying to keep him incapacitated. Yep, the music went up. Now this is gonna be a little tougher, you know what? But we got this. You know what? Now I'm looking the other way though. How about this way?
You know what to do. Your turn.
Oh.
A valid solution. Now go.
Nah. Ninja carrying hostage beats Tanuki.
Now go.
Oh, what are you still looking over here for? You're still like panning side to side. Is that redundant saying panning to the side?
Now go.
Ah, a Tanuki.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, he's clear.
That's enough, Kuma.
Alright, where's Yuki at? Okay, let's get everybody else. Okay, now go until we have foot. What are you guys doing? Just walking back out in the open. Alright, so I'm gonna walk over to here. Alright, we can do this without tripping the Three Stooges. That's how we hide the body. We present our evidence before walking in. Oh, I thought we were gonna get... Oh, the cutscene happens after the fact. Okay. Alright, so what do we got on the ending here? So there were still 95 enemies killed. Now, these are technically allies. They're countrymen, so it seemed a little difficult that way. Still no alarm count. Had a couple resets. So reach the highest point of Miyogi Pass. So I don't know if that means climbing up the rest of the pathway. Kill all enemies that carry torches. Well, that's a little different. Use the wagons to reach the Shogun's tent. Didn't bother that time because we used the sake instead, because I think I used the cart last time. Don't kill anyone except mission targets. I don't know who the mission targets are unless they're talking about the named developer ones or something. Never drop Masaru. That means you can't use Hayato. He's got to carry him the entire time. And then we got, okay, so we got the one for not using the wagons. Okay. Not anything too spectacular there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do the cutscene, and then that'll give us prep for doing full episode next time. Because if we got one disconnect, we're probably going to get another at the 1 hour mark, if not sooner. So, and even though the bandwidth isn't bouncing around, so... I don't know what else to do about this outside of spending money on hardware, railing on the ISP. Alright, yeah, I got those 2 kills at the end with Hayato, so basically I'd have to go without doing those, which they'd be possible with, like, say, Aiko, but man, she can't carry very fast. Trying to get those bodies out of there without the Three Stooges would have been a little bit more of a problem. You know what? That may have even been a better place for the grenade. Technically, those 2 hat guys and the 3 might have been in range to get all 5 at the same time. So if you do the wagon, then the grenade, that would eliminate, in this case, me having used Hayato. Alright, so we'll do the cutscene and then get set up and go from there. Do the justice seeking. Oh, okay, so it's not going to play the cutscene until we start. Okay. Well, this is the last and final level, so we'll actually... contend with the gameplay next time. Alright, so let's see if it starts at least here. I'm wondering, did the cutscene not play? Or is it going to do that now? Because it's a little weird that would take us there first. There it goes. Okay, okay.
So, you have come. To think not even 300,000 men could stop you.
My Shogun.
Do what you must then. I will not waste another word for the butchers of my son.
We never laid hands on your son. Neither were we responsible for the death of Oshiro Mugen. It was your brother who twisted the truth to his desire.
Why should I believe this outrageous accusation? What proof do you have?
We have a witness.
My nephew? Is this supposed to work in your favor?
This creature killed your son with his own hands.
Lies, Uncle, lies! I saw that filthy shinobi put a blade in his back. He killed Ryunosuke.
No! No, he's lying.
Go on, nephew.
He killed Mugen Sensei, too. They all seek to deceive you, Uncle. They hurt me. They told me to lie to you, but I won't.
And you know all this because you saw the murder happen, yes?
Yes. No, I mean, I'm...
Why were you there? How did you know where Ryunosuke was hidden?
Uncle, you don't understand. I didn't...
You cannot lie to me, nephew. Answer me now, truthfully. Who in this room has murdered my son?
Please, Uncle. I only did what my father told me. I didn't want to. He made me. He gave me the knife. It wasn't my fault.
Enough! Not another word. Noboru, my own brother, all this time.
You didn't see that coming, did
He
you,
blinded us
Sagat?
all.
I should have seen it. His eagerness for battle, his disapproval whenever we spoke of peaceful solutions. My brother never wanted peace. He was made for conquest. Were he born a century ago, he would have been the greatest warlord.
A shadow of the past, darkening the present day.
We all desire revenge for what was lost, but we will follow your command, as did Mugen before us.
Mugen. Even in death, he proves his loyalty. I will not grant my brother an honorable death. He will die forgotten. A brief mention in the annals of history. Seek him out in his domain at Sonpo Castle. Face him and do what must be done. We will discuss your future when you return.
As you command, my shogun.
Now go. We have wasted enough time already.
I guess they failed to mention the fact that Mugen cracked under pressure.
And now, to you, nephew.
Kick him. Seppuku. So we'll save once we get this started, and we'll be ready to rock on this one in the next episode. Yeah, if they're going through the battle plan, we'll, you know what? Guess we'll just have to review it manually next time. You know what? No, we will skip it. We'll just restart the mission and skip the cutscene. Either way, making sure we have both options technically. Okay, so there we go. It's going to be a short one tonight, but thanks for patience with the technical issues. I'm still frustrated by this, making things very difficult. Otherwise we get split files or loaded files, all other kinds of stuff. I'll see if I can get a solid one from YouTube, and I'll have to use that for Odysee probably, so that may not be up till posted till tomorrow. But anyway, trying to get back in action here, so now the schedule kind of normalizing a little bit, barring these technical issues, I'll try to start getting some of these other free-for-all streams going again too, like try to make some more progress on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, got Elder Scrolls, also, still haven't done my unboxing video for you yet, but I've also got Riftbreaker now. That's one I've been wanting to try out, barring the distractions from disconnects, so... Still got a few things to work on, but we're getting close. We'll probably wrap this next week. We'll probably still be working on wrapping Tomb Raider over the next few weeks if we can get some solid full episodes in. That'll open up for Metal Slug Tactics, hopefully when that comes back around with a physical edition, and then not really in a hurry to start the next Tomb Raider yet after this point, but I think October-ish, we're around the corner from that. That'll be the physical edition showing up soon. Nothing else for new games on the horizon. Got Mortal Kombat Legacy pre-order, but that's not quite that relevant. So yeah, hasn't been anything crazy for news for video games. Nothing that's high on the radar. So that's it for now. Have a fantastic night, and hit the follows and subscribe in case you're not already following the schedule and everything that we got going on. So that's at least the best advance notice I can get you. So you get the, I think Twitch is the only one that sends out notices. But in the meantime, take it easy. We'll see you soon.